So today, we're in a 2025 Toyota Sienna. Now, I am a previous owner of the previous generation Sienna. I had a 2020, which was the last before they went into the hybrid engine. So before they upgraded and changed some things. So that's what I owned. And that van was fantastic. There was definitely some things that needed upgrading, so it was nice to see. The next year, 2021, I also did a review on the 2021 Sienna, which all the upgrades, obviously the hybrid engine, fantastic. However, like most vehicles, there's always more you can do. There's always things that you can constantly upgrade. So today we're in the 2025, another modest refresh in this guy, and I have not actually been in a Sienna since the 2021 model. So it's great to get back in one of these. I've been a huge fan of vans. I've owned several myself. My family owned vans before when I was younger. And minivans are just fantastic in how much room and how much space you have for accommodation for people, but also cargo. In this specific van, you get all of those benefits with a incredibly efficient powertrain. So today, we're gonna talk about the 2025 Toyota Sienna. Hey folks, welcome back to techgooch, and like I said, we're in the 2025 Toyota Sienna. Now before we actually stop and do a walk around and look at all the fancy features that they have here on the dash and everything, just talk about this specific van. There's a lot to like about this van. There are a few things that I don't, and we're gonna get into each of those. But to start with, powertrain. This has a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder hybrid engine in it. And it is great because of the efficiency. Now it's rated at, I think, a combined 35. So you're gonna get like 34, 35 on the highway or city depending. I'm not quite getting that. I did a fairly lengthy journey in this van, 385 miles, I think I did, this last week. And on that trip, I averaged about 30 miles to the gallon. It was like 30, 31, somewhere in there. So a little bit less than optimal. But of course, it is colder out, and not only that, terrain, sorts of things can change that average. But a lot of times it's the temperature outside that it can really affect things. So that said, we're still in the 30s, but not as good as maybe the paper trail says. Also, this van is an XLE all-wheel drive model. So all the benefits of an all-wheel drive van, which are fantastic, and the XLE model. So this kind of sits right in that lower mid-trim level. There's definitely the limiteds and the platinums and stuff above this guy. So you're not going to get all of the fancy features in this guy, but there are quite a few. This one does have the added rear entertainment option, so you do get a nice like 15-inch display there in the back seat for the kids to, well, you can mirror cast from a phone, or you can plug in something to the HDMI input that's in the back seat. They have complete control over that, and of course, technically you could control it as well, but that said, pretty awesome. So that's the rundown real quick. It is a CVT transmission, so when you're getting up to speed, it's not downshifting constantly. It's a natural humdinger of a way up, and I think we're getting like 245 horsepower on this guy. So in general, the vehicle has enough power for what it is, but it's not super powerful. But then again, you're not drag racing in a minivan, and if you are, I would consider getting yourself checked out. So that is what this is. Let's jump out, let's do a walk around, let's look at the interior, let's see all the nice things that I really do like about it. Okay, so here we are on the outside of the 2025 Toyota Sienna. Now this is in this cypress green color. Now this is an XLE all-wheel drive version, so that's what you're seeing here with any of the wheels or tires or anything like that. But in all reality, it's a very, very attractive vehicle. Now, may notice something right now that I really don't like about it, but we'll get back to that when we get to that part of the van, so stay tuned. But this is what she looks like. Very good looking, very attractive, lovely color. I really do like the cypress color. All right, let's get in this bad boy. Now we're going to go through our just quick walk around, you know, standard controls if you want to see what the door controls look like. Standard options back here for some of the standard stuff for like the gas cap, things like that. Things you would expect to be down here. The steering wheel is the generic standard Toyota controlling steering wheel. Nothing fancy here. It has everything that you really need to control. And yeah, so this does not have a heads-up display, so that's one thing that is not, at least not on this trim, but it does have the lovely fully electronic driver information cluster, which is customizable to you. Using the pad here, we can actually go through different pages. There's 3 different customized ones. Push and hold the OK sign, and we can actually come through here and change what information we want in the different areas of the screen. Maybe I want that there. So, but yeah, you get the idea, and then hit back and we can lock it back in. So that is what the screen looks like there. Now over here we have, get it to see a little bit better, but this is a 12.3 inch information cluster here for the entertainment system. Now it does have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, so that's lovely to see on this nice wide screen. Now it is 12.3 inches, but it is very wide, so it's not very tall. So you can see there, all the buttons down here for the climate control system are standard push buttons, or I should say toggles, that give you the accessibility down there. They're not part of the screen. So that's what kind of sets apart the Toyotas maybe from the next level up in the Lexus, is that I would actually like to see this integrated into the bottom of the screen and have a little bit taller, a little bit larger screen. Not a big detriment there. Of course, I'm a technology guy. I would love to see that. Not everybody would. But aside from that, the standard features here that you're going to have in the settings, things like that, are going to be the standard Toyota stuff. So we're not going to go through all of that. But it is lovely to see full wireless CarPlay, full wireless Android Auto. We do have a wireless Qi charger down here below it. Does work on the MagSafe iPhones, so that's lovely to see as well. But we do also have a USB-A port over here to connect your phone and stuff to wire your phone into service. So that is an option as well. Also, you can see across the dash, that shelf starts over here on the driver's side and goes all the way across. So you can set things in there, sunglasses, whatever, there's plenty of space there. We do have a couple cup holders with kind of a, I would say a phone holder, but it's only going to be for the smaller phones. Now I have the Pro max size, and yeah, it's just too tall. It's not going to be going there very well, but it's maybe smaller devices there. So that's one thing that I would, you know, because of how this is, how little room space we have here, this kind of doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Gear selector, great. I love it. It's standard mechanical. It's great for this, you know, specifically with the size of the center console, works good. We do have our drive mode and EV mode, so we can actually change those settings there. This second set of cup holders is kind of interesting because they do have a second set here, but they are very small. So not everything's going to fit in here. To be honest, not everything will fit in here. They're kind of skimpy in terms of how much space there is for the cup holders. They could have made these a little bit more adjustable here in these two sizes, in my opinion, and these are definitely tight. So cans and simple things, coffee cups, things like that will work. And maybe that's a good thing because a coffee cup will actually fit in here snugly versus having to use these tensioners here. So that is something to point out, but that is something I have a couple of water bottles and stuff. Nope, they could not go in here. They had to go up there. Center console, there's a button here, big door that opens up, and then we have a really deep bin here, just one big solid bin all the way down. 2 USB-C ports here for charging, so they're really handy, but all in all really nice. You do get the 2 padded armrests, one for the passenger, one for the driver, with the ability to still get in here without having to pick your arm up. That is really nice, actually. Over here we do have the standard glove box, so that's always nice to see. And then we do have a sunroof down up here as well, obviously controlled here. Can control the doors from here, control the power lift gate. Everything's kind of the standard stuff that you would see in, well, in a minivan. Get back here and see a little bit better, so you can see underneath the center console there is kind of a pass-through piece here, purse, whatever, small bag. There is a 12-volt plug down here, so that is available, but that's what that looks like down there. Let's get in the back seat. Obviously powered sliding doors like you would anticipate to see. And then we do have the captain's chairs in the center. Kind of midway back, you can adjust how far these go back. So right now I have, you know, a couple of inches here. Let's actually go ahead and close that so we can get it nice, keep it nice and warm in here. Let's move it back just a little bit. And before so you can make it easier, it actually is on the side over here is how you actually can maneuver the captain's chairs front and back. This is the reclining option here. This is the lever for moving it back and forth. So if I give myself just a little bit more legroom so it's a little more comfortable. So this van does come with the infotainment system for the back seats, or the entertainment system, so it does have the wireless headphones. They just kind of put one on each side, one over there in that pack. But yeah, that's how I have my legs. The front seat I have to my height, the back seat nice and comfortable. Also, entertainment system. As you can see, we actually have mirror cast capability. I apologize for the screen there. That's a little better. All right, so that you can see the mirror cast capability, but we do have the capability of going to an HDMI. There is a remote control that we can change the source. Just looked. Now I don't have anything plugged into via HDMI right now, so it's not going to really do anything, but keep it on mirror cast for now. So that's the screen though. All right, so you can see in the back seat, this is what the back seat looks like. Let's go back in the back seat and see how much legroom there is now that I have both the front and the middle seats where I like them. Okay, back seat. Plenty of legroom here, even for a 5'11" adult. We do have vents back here. The whole back seat does have a climate control up above by the entertainment screen there. We do have capability of wired headphones back here with a volume knob available, and that's on both sides. The right side, the passenger side, does have two USB-C ports for charging as well. So that's a huge benefit. We can recline these seats. So if we pull on this tab here, we can actually adjust, how much recline each of these has. So yeah, it's hard to do it with one hand though. So you can see I laid it back a little more, but that's just to give an idea that we can do some reclining options for the back seat. Let's go into the back here real quick. Cargo space, and obviously you can see here what we have for the seats here. They are the kind of the stow and go seats, right? So where we can put things down into the back here. So you can see here we have this lever, which allows us to bring this guy down and put him into the floor. Or you can keep it up, and then you have this extra deep storage here. That's how you can do it. And of course, it's a 40 or a 60-40 split rear seat. But you can see what that looks like there. Let's talk about one of the things I really don't like about this van, and that is the hitch. Now this is a factory hitch. This is the one that would come with your van should you order the van with their hitch option. It's an 1.25" hitch, but it looks like a bolt on the outside aftermarket hitch. In my opinion, for something that's coming from the factory, it is one of the ugliest hitches I've ever seen on any vehicle. It does not look like it should be on a brand new 2025 Toyota Sienna from the factory with it. This isn't something that the dealership added on. This is the factory hitch. I don't understand why that is the option. It should not look like that. It should be more integrated. It should not be fully exposed, in my opinion. One more thing to do, let's look at the engine compartment. There we are. Now it does not have gas shocks, so you do have to use the stick, but there's the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. So I wanted to go through maybe some other things that I don't like about this vehicle. There's so many things I love about it, and of course that's coming from a person that enjoys the Sienna vans or enjoys minivans in general. But this is a 2025 model. So of course I'm comparing this to what I had in my 2020, but also what I experienced in the 2021. Ramp that forward several years, we're at the 2025 model. Things should be more advanced. The biggest disappointment that I've had on this is the lane guidance feature. Now this has a lane centering capability. It'll know if you're drifting outside of the lane. It'll alert you, but it does give force feedback on the wheel to keep you kind of centered. It is not lane centering at all. If you allow it to be kind of your guidance for being in the lane, it is a pinball effect. In all reality, this system, all it does is if you drift out of the lane, it'll push you back in. Now, that's fine. I'm not anticipating this driving the vehicle for me. However, I can't tell you as many times as it was on this 380 mile trip I took, how many times I'd be driving and I'd be centered in the lane and it would gently nudge me away from the center towards the center of the road. Basically, and you're on a two-way highway, that's oncoming traffic. It was nudging me towards the center line. That was not cool. And of course, it's not a big deal. It wasn't like pushing you, but you could feel these nudges and it's like, what are you doing? So, I mean, I allowed it to try to, okay, where do you want to be? It literally loved my left wheel being on the center line. It was the oddest thing. And of course, not completely on it, but like hugging it. Not where I would drive ever when I'm driving. So there are some technology features in this vehicle that I think they really need to work on. It seems like it's all software based on what the camera system is seeing, but it was disappointing that it was not any more advanced than the 2021 model that I had driven before it. Nothing felt like I would want to keep this system on. And so after I think it was like 190, 200 miles of driving with it on, I turned the darn thing off and enjoyed driving this vehicle even more. So that tells you something. This vehicle, for technology improvements in terms of driving, it gives you the indicators that you have people in your blind spots. It gives you, if there's somebody driving by you when you're in a parking lot, great, gives you all that stuff. But the lane avoidance or the lane keeping you from leaving the lane, I'm not a fan of it at all. I would turn that off anytime I would drive this vehicle. So after driving this van for a week, where am I at? I like it better than the previous iteration that I drove, but I still think Toyota has to work on a few of the safety features, specific when it comes at least lane guidance. I think they could do a lot better. I really know they could because I've driven other vehicles in their lineup, whether it's Toyota or Lexus, that does a much better job at it. I don't know why this specific vehicle doesn't do that well. But that is one thing that I think Toyota is definitely lacking on in a lot of their vehicles, is some of that higher technology features. That said, not everybody's really going to care. And this Toyota Sienna is still a Toyota Sienna. All in all, I like it. I don't absolutely love it, but I do really like it. And so it brings back memories because, like I said, I've owned a Sienna, thoroughly enjoyed and loved my Sienna back then. And of course moved on to more advanced things. But that said, if they were to bring some of the more advanced features into this vehicle group, and like I said, this is an XLE. I'm not driving a Limited, I'm not driving a Platinum, I'm not driving any of the high-end ones. This is right down the center. And this one stickers around 50 with all the added features because it added the rear entertainment, and it is all-wheel drive version. Could I see myself driving this vehicle? Yes. At this time, I'm kind of hopeful that they bring out some more advanced features, but if I was in the market for a minivan, this still is a fantastic van. It's hard to say any vehicle is perfect because it doesn't exist. And it's really, you know, in these review videos that you watch, not only mine, but anybody out there, they're going to pinpoint on the things that they find. We're looking for things wrong with the vehicle. Does this thing drive fantastic? Yes, it does. Fuel economy for this van, quite fantastic. There's a lot to love about this vehicle, and it brings a lot of features in that were missing for years. The new radio in here, the entertainment screen, lovely. Lots of great things. But do they have a few things that I think they still need to work on? Yes. And the big gripe, actually for me, isn't so much of that lane guidance, because that I can deal with that because I like driving and I don't mind not having that. That hitch will be I would not order this van with the hitch on it. I would do it myself because that looks terrible, especially a factory hitch. I really have a hard time understanding why it is that, because that's terrible. So Toyota, if you're watching this, please do something about that. That you should never have a factory hitch look that bad. So there we are. That's the 2025 Toyota Sienna. A lot to love. Few things they need to improve on, but great improvements so far. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Come on back. We have more vehicles coming. Of course, I'll be back with another one next week. So thanks for watching. See you again soon.